KWOD 106.5, Cake with the Distance, just after 10 o'clock with Alex Cosper stepping in on a very beautiful day. Of course, it's a very musical day as well. Some people drive into the Bay Area either to see Sex Pistols or Kiss. And speaking of Kiss, Gene Simmons will be phoning in pretty soon. He's already called in a couple times, like on Sean and Jeff's show, but I think that's him calling in right now. Is this Gene?
You bet.
Gene, we're on the air live.
Oh, great.
How you doing, Gene?
Fantastic.
All right. Well, I think it's wonderful that you're putting back on the makeup and getting back together with the original members.
Hey, you know what? It's a kick for us, too. I never thought it would happen. I mean, years ago, one of the reasons why Ace and Peter left in the first place is because, you know, Kiss was a dysfunctional family. And unfortunately, when you bring outside things, outside chemicals into a mix, it breaks families up, you know, not just real families, but the family of Kiss. And can't tell you what a thrill it is to be sharing the stage with everybody. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, when we first started to do this, we said, okay, let's go do this all the way, not halfway. Let's go do it all the way. So before the first show was even put on sale, you know, we didn't know who was going to come or who wasn't going to come. We decided to put together the greatest show on earth. We got put together $7 million of equipment,
Light
hydraulics, everything. What did you say?
Light show and everything.
I mean, you name it. We've got hydraulics that lift the entire band 30 feet in the air and then like 25 rolls out into the audience. Like nothing you've ever seen. There's a unit that flies me up to the top of the light system 55 feet above the ground where I spit up blood over everybody's head and then sing the wonderful ballad God of Thunder. The drum platform levitates 30 feet up in the air with Peter on top of it, and of course he wears a parachute just in case. Ace's guitar shoots out mortar rockets that blow up everything in sight. And I'm telling you, I mean, I've seen most everything there is to be seen, but when I first walked in and saw this ginormous stage show, I went, oh my God, look at the size of this thing.
So, does it come from your imagination to design all the stage set?
We all sit around and sort of make our wish list, you know, sort of what would happen if, you know, if I had all the power, if I were king of the world and I could have anything I wanted by just snapping my fingers, what would it be? And that's the basic premise of putting a show together. Then, of course, once we put our wish list together of what we want to see, you know, the engineers and the business guys come in and they just, you know, start pulling their hair out of their heads. It's like, you can't do this. Yes, you can.
So you almost have to invent it, like you have to...
Well, sure, where there's a will, there's a way, you know. Necessity is the mother of invention, and if you want to do something, you figure out a way to do it. Wow. And there's stuff over here that nobody's ever seen before. For instance, we've got 13 semi-trailers, you know, those tractor-trailer trucks, the big ones, the big rigs. But some of the hydraulic equipment that lifts us above people's heads is so ginormous that it doesn't fit inside the trucks. So they had to get in touch with the U.S. Army, and we're using the flatbed trucks that they used to haul around missiles with. I mean, this is like the biggest tour we've ever done. We've got 65 people on the crew that balloons up to 300, 7 buses just to haul the crew around, and 13 trucks. It's like, and then when we do the stadium shows, it balloons to 25 trucks. This is like, you know, a Kiss traveling city.
So tell us about, I know you did that show earlier in the summer with KROQ in Los Angeles.
That was just a favor to a friend of ours that works at the station.
Okay.
The truth is, it really wasn't our show, nor was it the full effects or any of that stuff. We decided to just set up some amps on their stage and play some tunes and haul out some equipment. But, you know, certainly our show is 2 hours long instead of an hour. We did about 40 minutes there. Our show is 2 hours long, and obviously it's much bigger. In fact, you know, you can just set it up into the audience. I mean, if we set up our show, there wouldn't be room for the audience over there. But the very first show that we did was at Tiger Stadium in Detroit.
Right, with Alice in Chains.
Actually, Alice in Chains and Sponge.
Okay, right.
And that show went clean in 47 minutes.
Wow.
Madison Square Garden, 4 nights. It fell in 58 minutes. We just finished our 3-day stand at the Los Angeles Forum. I mean, it's been like that city after city, and I can't tell you what a kick it is to get out there and just watch people's jaws drop to the floor. There's enough sound system hanging above that stage to drop 5 pounds of any fat girl within 1,000 yards of that stage.
So, Gene, do you feel like you're recreating what you originally did back in the 70s, or is it a...
This is Kiss on steroids. We're taking it a step further.
Okay.
We want to go where no band has gone before.
Okay.
We want to, expand, just see how far we can go with this thing, especially today. I mean, there's a lot of great music, but very few bands I go to see live. I mean, the idea of going to see a rock show to see some guy on stage with a wrinkled shirt is not my idea of a good time. And it doesn't matter what anybody else wants to do. We're simply going to be who we are.
I heard in an interview, one of the members was saying that, like, you would picture yourself. You started out as just a fan in the audience in the early days, and you would picture yourself on stage because you wanted to bring something to the stage that wasn't there before. Something.
Yeah, the basic idea behind Kiss was we're the band that we never saw on stage. We wanted to put together, the band that we never saw. Most of the time, there's one guy with a microphone who does nothing else but sing and talk to the people, and we're going, get an honest job, for God's sake. All the rest of the guys are slaving away in the back, playing their instruments and learning the songs, and this guy's going, look at me, look at me. So we decided to put together a band where everybody plays, everybody sings, everybody has their chance in the spotlight, sort of like a four-wheel drive vehicle. And, there's no way that can work unless everybody does their job. I mean, you can't have one flat tire, which was initially why the band in this lineup broke up in the first place, because you had, a flat tire or two, and in no way, shape, or form were we going to get up on that stage and do a half-ass show.
Right.
But I want to tell you, it's a privilege and an honor to share the stage with everybody, because everybody is of sound mind, sound body, and we're doing an average of 5 shows a week, and they're just kicking everybody's butt. I mean, I walk off that stage drenched, but exhilarated, very much sort of born again.
Okay. We have Tom Bowman here. He has a question for you, Gene.
Gene, first of all, let me tell you, the first concert I ever went to was a Kiss Blue Oyster Cult concert when I was like 8 years old. So
wow.
You don't know how jacked I am to see you tomorrow night. But
wow.
My question is this is like an 18-month tour, apparently, from what I've read. What do you guys plan to do after that? Is there...
Well, so far, all we've got on our agenda is 2 years, 26 countries, and 10 million people.
Is that all?
That's a big nut to swallow. And,
wow.
We're not pretending that this is the last tour. I don't want to pretend this is a retirement tour. Life is great, and the truth is, from the bottom of my heart, you're going to have to drag me kicking and screaming off that stage. I ain't going nowhere, I will determine when I leave the party, not somebody else.
All right, so there is a chance of another album, maybe?
Sure. I mean, anything's possible, and it all depends on, the vibrancy and the creativity of any team. A team is only as good as the members on the team. And we're leaving nothing in the impossible category, because anything is possible.
Okay.
Just depends how much hard work you want to put into it. So right now, all we're doing is we're in a touring mode, and if we feel like it and we want to sit down and start writing tunes, we'll do that.
Gene, do you feel that this is the right timing? It seems like there's a resurgence of interest in
who cares?
70s.
Any time is the right time when you want to have a party. Don't look around and ask somebody else if it's okay to enjoy life. My God. There's so few days in your life where you really get a chance to do what you want to do. Best time to hold a party is whenever the hell you feel like it. And the fact that we decided to put together the biggest party on earth is beside the point. We decided to do it because it was right, because everybody was of like mind, and everybody was of sound mind and sound body, and the rest doesn't count. I mean, if you look at styles, we're completely out of fashion. We don't wear wrinkled shirts, we don't look at our shoes, and we don't have a small show. Everything about our show is, in very ways, doesn't exist.
Okay.
If you want show, there's nowhere else to go to.
Yet I understand that bands like Stone Temple Pilots and some of the other bands we play here cite you as an influence.
Well, sure. I don't think there's a band you're playing that wasn't a card-carrying member of the Kiss Army. But that's not what this is about. What this is about is us being selfish. We want to do this for ourselves. I mean, certainly for the fans, yes. Certainly everybody wants to have a great time, and the fact that 10 million people are going to have the time of their lives over the course of this tour is beside the point. The truth is, from the bottom of my heart, I'm doing this for me, because I'm having the time of my life. And we're taking the point of view with the opening bands is to really spread as many new bands over the course of the tour as possible. The first show in Tiger Stadium was Alice in Chains and Sponge, and then it moved on to Melvins and D-Generation, which is a new kind of glam band out of New York,
right.
And Melvins. I've mentioned Melvins and Nixons.
Tomorrow night, Stabbing Westward.
Yeah. And we're going to mix it up.
So are you picking the opening bands?
You bet.
Okay, good.
If I hear a record I like, bam, you're in.
Okay.
The way we're doing this is on multiple nights, which is in most of the cities. So like in Madison Square Garden in New York, where we did 4 nights, every single night was a different band. I mean, we had Civ, 311, D-Generation, and Melvins, I think. I'm sorry, Nixons. Nixons was one of them.
Right.
And the idea really is, we're not here to put the good housekeeping stamp of approval on anyone. All we're doing now is showing people there's a lot of important music out there, and you guys decide. It's no different than when we took out a lot of the bands that I'm about to mention on their very first tours when they meant nothing. AC/DC, Rush, Cheap Trick, John Cougar, Tom Petty, you name it. Anthrax, they were all out on their very first tours. Bon Jovi as well.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Well, tonight you're playing at San Jose Arena, and I know that'll be a fun show.
Well, I'm not even there yet. I'm still in Los Angeles. Gotta fly out there.
And then tomorrow night you're coming to Sacramento to play Arco.
But one night only. We're moving on from there to, I think, Portland and Seattle and Tacoma, playing the Tacoma Dome. I mean, it's just a kick. I can't tell you what this means.
All right, Gene. Well, I really appreciate you calling in today.
All the best, guys.
We're going to rock and roll all night on KWOD 106.5.